Are you trying to learn tuck, jump to handstand? And it looks a little bit like this. Or even a bit like this. Come with me to the wall. When it comes to tuck jump, a lot of people try and run before they walk. I was one of those people. I never really understood what it took to hold a tuck. Before you even try and jump into a tuck, you need to know whether you can hold a tuck. What do we use? The good old wall. There is two different ways of doing it. Well, there's more than one way. But there's front and then there's back to wall. So, also say chest and then back to wall. Now, chest to wall, obviously, everyone hates it. It's the devil. But it is one of the most efficient ways to learn how to hold a tuck. So when learning tuck jumps, we want to start with being able to hold tuck. If you're struggling to hold a tuck in chest or back to wall, how are you expecting your brain and your body to hold yourself up? You also have no idea, if you've never gone into a tuck, your body doesn't know where it's trying to get to. You're just jumping and hoping for the best. So let's go to the wall. We want to start with a tuck hold in chest to wall. Ideally, if you're trying to tuck, you want to have a level of confidence of falling out and also have a little bit of maybe freestanding play. Even if you're not holding for ages, you can kick up away from the wall and hold for even a few seconds. Have that confidence in being able to go fairly close in chest to wall, okay? If you're not, it's a little bit harder holding tuck further away because it's not quite as tight. So let's go into a nice chest to wall tuck hold. Distance wise, you want to be around hip to knee distance away from the wall. Hands on the floor. Walk in. About here. That's fine. We're going to think about, if we can, slide the toes down the wall to bring the hips off. Be careful that that doesn't happen, okay? We want to push at that hollow body position and tilt the hips. From here, as we slide the toes down the wall, we want to make sure the shoulders stay open. So we don't want to be going like this, okay? So shoulders, armpits to the wall, hollow body. We're going to slide the toes down. Even holding 90 degrees isn't easy. We can walk closer in and get our knees to the wall. And make sure we're not using our back. We're pushing, hollow body, knees to the wall. Hold there. If you can, bring the heels to the bum and hold. That tuck. For starters, this is where you want to work towards getting. The closer you get into the wall, the deeper the tuck. But if you're just starting out, just work on 90 degrees. You don't have to get super deep in that tuck, okay? Because the deeper the tuck, the harder it is to hold, and the more strength is required to hold it. You can also do this on a box. So I'm going to get a box, and I'm going to show you how your tuck could look on a box. So what we're going to do, hands on the floor. I'm going to put the knees on the edge of the box. From here, obviously I've got my feet on the wall, which you might like this against the wall because it gives you a little bit of stability to push back and it stops you moving too far away. From here, I want to think about pushing, hollow body, if we can, bring the knees in. This is even deeper than the wall. What we don't want to be doing is leaning forward, okay? I want to think about pushing up, hollow body, and squeeze in. We then want to walk forward to come out. So, if you don't need a wall, grab a box. Ideally, something just below hip height. So then you can get those knees that little bit lower, okay? You can use a table at home. Get creative. But working on holding that, keeping the shoulders open. So, if you know you can hold a tuck, right? But you're still not getting your tuck jump. Step 2. You've done your chest to wall tuck. You may have done a box tuck hold. Now we want to try and feel it in back to wall. Knowing how tuck feels in chest to wall, chest to box, and back to wall means you'll have more of an understanding how it feels when you actually go upside down. So we're going to kick up to the wall. We're going to bring our bum over to the wall. The main thing is we don't want to let our shoulders lean forward as our bum comes over. If you are tight in the shoulders, tuck is really hard, okay? So please bear that in mind. If you're really struggling, you probably need to start working on your shoulder flexibility to help get tuck. Okay, so distance-wise, want to be about hand's distance away from the wall. Will depend on the size of your butt, I'm afraid, because if you've got a butt like mine, you need that extra space as you come down. So hands shoulder width apart. I am going to kick up to the wall, bring my bum on the wall. From here, right, I want to make sure I'm pushing, hollow body. Squeeze the bum, feet together. We're just going to practice keeping the toes down the wall for as long as we can. Even going to here might be enough. If you start to come low and then lean forward, you need to stay here. Okay, so keeping the hips over, and then you can bring the toes off the wall. The aim is to come all the way down, and then you can maybe use your fingers to come off. If you are struggling and bringing the shoulders forward, go back to the tuck on the wall or on the box. Now it's time to use the wall to jump up to the wall so we can feel that movement and try and get ourselves into that right position. Once you've trained your body into knowing where it's aiming to go, you have a better chance of being able to get into that position, okay? So, again, hands distance away from the wall. I'm going to give you the technique. The main thing you want to think about is that your hips are coming over your shoulders. A tuck jump with hips in line with shoulders requires a lot of strength. So when you first start, you want to work on just getting the hips over to help you balance, okay? Don't think about the toes going to the wall. Think about the bum, hips to the wall. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, and it's all coming from here. If you lose the push, you're not getting up. Okay, so I'm going to show you what that looks like if I don't push versus if I do push. So, hands distance. Start with my shoulders over. I'm not pushing enough, and then I'm trying to go up. It's going to look like that.
Versus bringing the shoulders over. We also want to look ahead of the hands. This is going to tell our brain that we're trying to bring our hips over our shoulders, shoulders over wrists, push through the shoulders, push through the feet to bring the hips up, keeping the shoulders solid.
Point the toes, and then I can use my fingers to try and bring myself off the wall. Just all in the shoulders, round in the back. It shouldn't be that much of a push on the feet if you're pushing enough here. I'm really hoping this helps. Any questions? Let me know. Oh my God, I'm so